We'll now go over examples for the lesson on parabolas. Number 1 asks what the focus and directrix is of y equals x plus 4 squared minus 2. Well, this is really x minus negative 4 squared minus 2. And now here, this is the value of h, and this is k. So we know the vertex is h comma k. In this case, that's negative 4, negative 2. Unfortunately, they didn't ask for just the vertex, so we've got to find the focus and the directrix. So I could also write this with a 1 here. This is really just 1 times x plus 4 squared. 1 times x plus 4 squared. So that number is 1 over 4p. That has to equal 1. So that means that 1 equals 4p. I just multiplied the 4p over there. So that means p is 1/4. Now I can immediately determine my focus. The focus, because our parabola opens in the y-axis, that means our focus is going to have a change in the y direction. So it's just h comma k plus p. So we already know h is negative 4 and k is negative 2, and we just found p, so we have to add 1/4. So our focus then is negative 4 and negative 7/4. Now to find the directrix. Because the parabola opens somewhere on the y-axis, then we know our directrix is going to be y equals k minus p. That's 2 minus 1/4, rather negative 2 minus 1/4, which is negative 9/4. Problem 2, to start off with, wants us to find the direction that a certain parabola opens. Because the leading coefficient here is negative, then we know that the parabola opens left. If the x's and y's were switched, it would be opening down. Now, to determine h, k, and p, we should start by trying to complete the square. When completing the square, we like this term to be 1, so I'm going to divide everything by negative 2. So now we have this equation. To complete the square, I have to take this number, divide it by 2, which is negative 3/4, square it, which is 9/16. So now I have negative x over 2 is equal to y squared minus 3/2 y plus 9/16 minus 9/16 plus 5/2. Because we completed the square, I can write what's in red as y plus 3/4. Actually, it's minus 3/4 squared. And it's plus 31/16. So now I have this equation. I can move the 31/16 over to the left. Now this still isn't quite what I want because I have x being multiplied by negative 1/2. So I'll go ahead and factor out negative 1/2 from the left-hand side. And finally, this is the equation that we were looking for. From this we know that h must be negative 31/8 and k must be 3/4. We also know p. Because this negative 1/2 is 4p, I can divide by 4 to give me that p is negative 1/8. The fact that p here is negative supports our decision earlier that the direction is that it opens the left. Now I've plotted here my x and y. So h is about negative 4 and k is kind of about 1. So I'm going to plot down here negative 4 and 1. And that's the vertex. I can find the focus in Directrix easily by just moving over 1/8 in either direction. And for the Directrix, it's going to be a line. I know the Directrix is on the right because my parabola opens to the left. And now we know this parabola is going to look something like this. It opens very slowly. Example 3 gives us a focus and a directrix for parabola, and we have to find the equation for the parabola in standard form. Well, the directrix is x equals something, which is in this case 0. Because it's x, that means we know our parabola opens along the x-axis. So it opens either left or right. And we know that x is equal to h minus p for the directrix. Because this is 0, then I know h is equal to p. The focus to 3 tells me what h plus p and k are. So h plus p is 2 and k is 3. But wait, I already know that h and p are equal. That means that I can rewrite this as 2p equals 2. Because really just p plus p. In that case, p equals 1. And that's also h. So we found h, p, and k, and now we can find the equation for the parabola in standard form. In standard form, we have that y minus k squared is equal to 4p x minus h. So now if I plug in everything we know, y minus 3 squared is 4 times x minus 1. And that's the equation for parabola.